We are live. This is the market update. Now, you need to stay tuned here. Is Bitcoin topping? Probably. Is ETH topping? Who knows? Is alt season next? By the end of this stream, you will have relevant news for Bitcoin, all the FOMO in Ethereum, and will other altcoins eventually follow ETH, and which big coin is next? Is there going to be an XRP ETF? What does BlackRock think of that? These are things that you need to know. And at the end of this video, you'll know them. I'm your host, Bill Noble. If you need a roadmap in crypto, subscribe to this channel. We have a new morning show from the Shorts feed. You can't miss it. And don't forget to hit the like button early and often. Let us know what you think of the new content. Now, just to let you know, coming up after this will be the YouTube member live stream where 5-star analyst Toby Ward will be helping you out with the small caps because the small caps pumped after she gave you the stuff last time. So we are going direct from here over to there. Okay, let's go. What's going on? Do you realize that hedge funds are getting short stocks again? They got squeezed out after a 2-day decline. And they're back. They're back, right? Because they just can't stop hating it. Now, one thing that may happen, because the Bureau of Labor Statistics just got itself revamped, right? In other words, they're going to stop lying about the numbers. Like employment was way worse. Because, Brandon was, adjusting those numbers for an extended period of time. And now we're going to find out if the inflation numbers are FAKE. Is it higher than we thought? Is it lower than we thought? Now, if it's lower than we thought, all these hedge funds are going to get squeezed out, right? And everybody's running out the door. Everybody's taking profits in crypto, which is understandable. I mean, people made real money, right? You had Bitcoin at 123. Everyone was talking about 5K ETH. Everybody had their, just everybody was like complete bullish ninny over the weekend. Now you have to ask yourself, okay, you have a dip. The last dip, you had 24 hours to buy. My guess is these inflation numbers are going to come in lower than anyone thinks. Because again, it's all a fabrication to continue rates at 4.5% or 4%, in which the Fed pays interest to banks who deposit money at the Fed, which includes foreign banks. Effectively, the Fed, because it's a bank, the Federal Reserve Bank, they are paying money to people who deposit there, and they're not solvent. So they're like, oh, here's some money, here's some money, here's some money. What? Now, if there's phony baloney, and if those inflation numbers are better for capital markets than you might think, I mean, if we have 4% interest rates with 3.5% inflation, the 4% rates are okay. It's not terrible based on economics. If we have 4% something interest rates and we have inflation at 1%, okay, that's crazy banana pants. And the capital markets are going to start pricing in rate cuts. Like, I don't mind telling you this because you can't tell you everything. So you got to get over to that YouTube member podcast. But Toby is like, what is this guy waiting for? Really? Like, oh yeah, Toby, this guy hasn't cut rates yet. She's like, what? So, I mean, what is Powell doing? What is he doing? Now, stonks guys want to get short. I followed that. Last time I was like, well, I don't like crypto. I had 2 days to get myself turned around. Not even that. 1.5 days. And again, I've been saying this all week. Thank God I did, because the biggest trading lesson I can give you is if you do something and you get stopped out or you're wrong and you got to turn it around, turn it around. Right? Arthur Hayes didn't get himself turned around and wound up having to buy ETH above 4,000. Now, I'm not saying that's not going to work out, but you got to change your mind. You got to get yourself turned around. like quickly. Now, in other news, BlackRock does not want to do an XRP ETF. Okay. Why? Maybe because XRP is more centralized than these other coins, right? These guys reserve the right to absolutely dump indiscriminate amount of XRP. Whatever. Personally, I think BlackRock should just come in and take over Ripple, right? And use it as a bank payment system. That's just me. But they're not going to make it an ETF. Now, of course, everybody in XRP land is disappointed, right? Everybody wants their coin in an ETF, right? Well, ETH was in an ETF, and ETH cascaded lower to sub 1,400 to the point where everyone absolutely hated it. Absolutely hated it. It was going to zero. Solana was the thing. I mean, you can't believe the bullish headlines on ETH today. I mean, it's unbelievable. At 1,400, they hated it, but at 4,200, it's much more attractive. But in XRP, let the free market set the price for XRP. Because for BlackRock, again, at $7, XRP will be attractive. But, at $3, they're scared of it. Baloney. Absolute baloney. And frankly, right, XRP can be settled by the free market. Let the free market figure out XRP rather than BlackRock. And let BlackRock come in later. Because I continue to believe that people are doubting that XRP is its own monetary system. You can like it, you can not like it, but it's a company with 1,000 people. And if someone bought it, it's a self-contained monetary system. Okay? Eagle King. Okay, well, Grandpa Keto, we're going to take care of you no matter what, bro. We're going to take care of you no matter what because we got this stream and we got Toby coming up right after this on a redirect. You're insane if you miss it. All right. Now, let's talk about Michael Saylor. So Michael Saylor is watching ETH go up. And why would he be upset about that? He wouldn't be. Why? Because he knows that based on old school behavior, every time people make money in altcoins, what do they do with it? They come back in and they stack sats in Bitcoin. That's standard crypto playbook. That's the standard crypto playbook 101. And he's talking about buying more Bitcoin on the 5-year anniversary of his first purchase. Because I remember him paying 10, and I remember him being a complete beast and paying 20, which was the old all-time high from 2017, which nobody thought we'd ever see again. That's how bad that bear market was. People were like, oh, this is completely euphoric. And then it went to 3K. And we're like, no. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see 20K in 10 years. Okay. Then, ETH DeFi took off. And then Saylor came in and just indiscriminately bought it. Period. Right. And then cough, cold, and flu came along. They printed $14 trillion. And Saylor looked like a genius. He looked like an absolute genius. So, everybody's like, oh, Michael Saylor is going to be upset about ETH. No. Now we say Michael Saylor is sweating the rise of ETH treasury companies. Like, okay. Well, I would admit that, the ETH treasury companies, were, there's a little cringe going on there. It was a little bit crazy. It was like, ugh, right? But you can't be a boomer. You got to roll with it because you get short, you see cringe, and it gives you a 2-day trade. And if it doesn't work, right, then maybe it wasn't cringe. I'm sure you're going to see cringe at some point. Crypto Garage is here from Ghana. Welcome, sir. Welcome from Ghana. Okay, Bitcoin Bulls. So over the weekend, Bitcoin Bulls are like, okay, we're participating in this. We're doing it. Okay, it went to 123. And then everyone's like, I'm not doing it. Right? I'm going to the beach. It's August 11th. I'm going to the beach. Thank you for taking it up to 123. Thank you for taking ETH up to 4.5K. See ya. And that's not a ridiculous trade, like at all. That's not ridiculous. Now everybody's like, well, it's got to fill the CME gap. What's the CME gap? Well, on Friday, crypto closes, ETFs and futures close. And then crypto decided to ramp it over the weekend to stress out the ETF players. Everybody on Legacy is at the beach with their phone going, oh, they did it to me again. They did it again. I got to go to the beach during the week, and I got to stay home at the office when it's the weekend, right? I got to take a vacation when they don't know I'm taking a vacation. So they ramp it, and then it comes off. And you know what? When you get these reversals, the candlestick will be gross, right? It'll go way up, and it'll come down, it'll close down. It'll either be like a nasty looking doji or, some type of hammer at the top. Now, these things are only reversals if you get follow through. So, if you get Bitcoin, then there's all this talk about the CME gap, because that's why I brought up the whole thing about Legacy going up over the weekend. There's this huge gap down there, right? The futures chart opened where, spot was on Monday. And now they have this huge gap on the Legacy chart. So as soon as there's gap on the chart, everybody has to write an article on CoinDesk and Cointelegraph that, oh my God, they're going to go fill such and such a gap. And they can. Yeah, gaps get filled. They can fill a gap. But the thing is, for a reversal, to be a reversal, okay, to be a reversal, you need follow through. So it needs to go up, and then it needs to go down for like 3 straight days. And you're like, okay, that's a reversal. But if they just bring it up and knock it down, Big Rich is welcoming T-Bone and Grandpa Keeter, and Big Rich says he's number one, and he might be, right? Because he was on Arrow before it spiked. He was the man. Okay. And again, if you join Patreon, not only do you get, explicit research, you get explicit portfolio style, trading style research, but you also get this chat room with all these smart guys, right? Alt season in August, right? Platinum market scenario, plat portfolio report for what to do on the dip, which you're getting right now. Now, of course, every time the market's going up, everyone's like, when am I going to get a dip? Okay, well, you're getting a dip now. Now, every time you get a dip, everyone's like, I can't touch this. I can't touch it. Altcoins down 5%. I'm like, Now, last time altcoins were down 3-4%, you had 24 hours to get involved before the thing just turned around and went back up again. And the next time this happens, it may not be Bitcoin, and it may not be ETH. It may be something else. Like, we've gone over this. Like, what is going on in Solana? Nothing. What's going on in XRP? Nothing. T-Bone with the shout out to the OGs with the super chat. Sir, guys are super chatting to talk to each other. Members are shouting themselves out by super chatting me. That's how much they like what we do and what Toby Ward does. At the conclusion of this stream, we will be redirected over there, right, for Crypto Power Hour. For everyone who knows what this is, this will be the return of Crypto Happy Hour, which, is market analysis and happy hour at the same time. Now, ChainLink is teaming up with everybody. Before everybody gets all wound up about the CME gap, you start getting worried. You start getting pumped up about ChainLink. When I do these reports, so Toby calls it a book report, right? Where I use the Gann model from, that we use to publish Patreon to come up with report light. ChainLink is in every single report to the point where I'm like, okay, can you please tell me something other than ChainLink? ChainLink. Right? ChainLink puts everything together. Everybody sees Bitcoin and ETH going, and nobody thinks about cross-chain future. Like, oh, it's Bitcoin. Oh, it's ETH. No, bro, it's a cross-chain future. Now, if it is a reversal, would they hit XRP again? Sure. If there's disappointment over the BlackRock ETF, might they hit it again? Sure. Right? Grandpa Keter with the super chat saying there's nothing but love in here. Super chatting to shout each other out. Again, already existing members printing as a result of what we're talking about here, particularly what Toby is talking about. Now, meme coins, which have also basically done nothing. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. Like Pepe hasn't moved. Doge hasn't moved. And I don't mind telling you, the Gann model popped up Pengu, right? Pengu. and no one is talking about this. You had ETH move. This has never happened. Normally you have levered ETH move, which is, or levered Solana move, which is like bonk or dog whiff hat or something like that. But like all the leverage stuff didn't move, right? By the way, in the super chat, they're all competing with each other to see who can be the number one fan. It's unbelievable, these guys. I love these guys. You know, Pepe didn't do anything. And Pepe is getting spanked today. So in many ways, whether it's Pepe or it's not Pepe, they're giving you an opportunity. Like Arthur Hayes may have been smart to dump Pepe. You know, he got hosed in ETH, but that's it. What about the rest of the market? What about the AI and the RWA plays? Memes, DeFi? I mean, yeah, we got a couple of DeFi coins. I was actually kind of happy. It was kind of cool that, you know, we'll have Toby look at in the next stream. I was like, hey, you know, some of the stuff that the Gann model popped out, I was like, all right, I'm down with this. I'm okay with this. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, it's like, and Toby's going to look at it. The Gann model likes some things. If the Gann model and Toby like it, well, if, you know, if you're not involved in that, people, then, you know, we can't really help you. Right? That's kind of how we do it. And then I got the little thing set up for the small coins. Because again, one thing that I just don't hear anything about in this market is what's the next 50X. No one's talking about that. I haven't seen any videos about that. Everyone's like, oh my God, it's an ETH breakout. Okay. Really, dude? You know, no. We know that already. Where's the next 50X? Well, you know, we're out there hunting, right? And we want to hunt with you guys. Okay. So if I got the time right, no, I haven't got the time right. So we're going a couple more minutes. Eagle King will let me know. And then again, we're going over to the YouTube member area after this. Oh my God, I can't believe you would miss it. Okay, so here comes all the ETH headlines. Ready? Vitalik is now a billionaire. They were ready to fire Vitalik at ETH sub 2000, right? ETH Treasury warning, Bitcoin 250, maybe. Listen, Huckleberry Native moves into the front of the competition in the chat. Oh my God. Okay. Bitcoin 250. Listen to me. Toby has told you about 250K and when that's going to happen and when you don't want it to happen. You need to stay tuned for that because I don't want to get smacked with the God of Sandal for telling people stuff on the market update that should be behind the paywall. Okay. ETH speculation shifts focus to altcoins. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Okay. When is somebody going to figure this out? You know, it's like, well, they got ChainLink. Well, what else you got? Right? What else you got? I mean, if Solana or XRP pick up, or if they heave Solana and XRP up on profit taking, which, you know, who cares? I mean, what? It's ETH going to go straight up? Nothing goes straight up. Even if they correct it. If they correct it, the market, XRP, Solana, definitely XRP, it's actually more bullish. It's more bullish if they hit it. Seriously, right? Like if you look at the XRP, because I know it's all about XRP. You know, in XRP on the daily chart, if this is A, B, C, right? If C is 250, well, how nice. Now that may or may not be true. I don't know. But if you got, okay, Big Rich, I think, moves to the front. Thank you, sir. You guys are wild men. If it goes A, B, C, well, great. Now, the other thing you got going on in this market, just be very simple, is you got 13 top in Bitcoin. This is the DeMark stuff. You have a 13 top and a 9 top in ETH. Solana is the only thing that doesn't have a 13 top, but, it might if it rallied. XRP has the 13 top over here. So this could be in a correction. Good. You know what I'm saying? Like this guy, Jocko, ex-Navy SEAL guy. He talks about, managing a business. Boss, such and such is messed up. Good. Boss, we got a problem. Good. Boss, we got a problem. And I know what you're going to say. It's good. Why are you saying it's good? Because we can overcome the challenge. And if there's a challenge, if there's a dip and they want to smack it, good. Good. Now, I know everybody wants up only forever like 2021. And I certainly hope that, the 13 top comes and goes. But I've said that before and the market's gotten hammered. So I'm just trying to be chill and realize that over the second half of August, right, if it's weak, good. Because that's going to leave small coins in a position where you can BTFD. You can BTFD. And of course, Toby is going to tell you all about in the YouTube member stream, which is coming over in 15 minutes. I think the Eagle King has redirect. So the members will go over there. Gentlemen, we appreciate you and the Super Chat Complex contest, right? And then, if you want to be a member, you can hit this QR code. The link is down below. If you want to come over and check out the small coins, come visit us. That's the market update. We will see you in 15 minutes.